going on? What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Let me know if y'all can hear me. Let me know if my audio and everything is cool. Hold on, let me do this real quick. $100 Ackermans gave me a thumbs up. Okay. Tomorrow Leader Sports say I sound great. Okay, cool. All right, let me get my info up here. I'm gonna play my music for a little while too. All right, what's going on, y'all? What's going on tonight? I know it's been a while. I had a birthday. My birthday was the other day, so I had to celebrate that. Lawrence Q said, "Buzz, is that you?" Yes, me, man. Yeah, I had a birthday the other day, so I was out celebrating my birthday this last week, so I wasn't posting as much. But we back on, we back rocking. We finna get it popping this week. Yeah, please like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Y'all know I cover SWAC content over here, so if you like this kind of content, like and subscribe to the channel. We're gonna really need the likes tonight because we're not talking about anything that's really trending. So we're gonna really need y'all to like the channel tonight. I appreciate y'all. But tonight we're gonna talk about a lot of things I've been seeing online, and I'm gonna have Mr. Ford call in early. Mr. Ford been wanting to get on, and I haven't been doing the show lately, so I'm gonna get him on tonight, and he's gonna talk to y'all. But tonight we're gonna talk about what I've been seeing online. It's like this need for validation from the HBCU community from outside people, like whether it's other FCS schools, Power 5, whatever. Like, I don't like this need for us to be looking to be validated by these people because they may never validate you. We need to take pride and appreciate what we have. We need to take pride and appreciate what we have and not look to be validated by these outside conferences and these outside schools. Don't argue with these people online. We need to stop that. Because they're gonna take their shots online, say the craziest stuff, and that's just what it is. We have to learn to ignore these people, focus on what we trying to do, focus on what we're trying to build in the HBCU community, especially the SWAC. Focus on what we're trying to do. Focus on the goal that we're trying to accomplish. We're trying to level the playing field. We're trying to elevate our conference. What we need to focus on is getting the best players that we can. Yeah, we can play y'all schools. We can play y'all to, test the waters, test where we at. But we're not looking for your validation. We don't care. We don't care like that. We're the hot. We what's hot right now. We're what's hot. We the hot ones on the block. So y'all need attention from us. So if we do play y'all, it needs to be a neutral site game. Because we're not coming all the way to Montana or Dakota or anywhere else like that just to play y'all. No, we don't need to be doing that. Sonic Moon C98 said, "What do we seek validation?" I'm just talking about if you're online, you feel like these people from these other FCS schools, these other schools, they feel like they could talk down to us like we need to get on their level. And I don't like seeing that. I hate that. It really gets on my nerves when I see that online, and I feel like Robert Gaddy said, hot boys. Yeah, but I'm gonna get Mr. Ford to call in soon, and we're gonna talk about it. And I want to get y'all calls too. I want y'all to call in. And am I tripping? One thing I want to talk about, these advertisers that's watching my show and y'all want me to advertise for y'all company. I gotta vet y'all, man. I'm not just gonna do an agreement with y'all, and I don't know what kind of products y'all pitching. If y'all legit companies, I'm not gonna put y'all on my people like that, and I haven't vetted y'all yet. So I know y'all be watching and y'all send me messages and stuff, but make sure y'all legit, because I'm gonna properly vet y'all, because I'm not gonna do my family like that. So yeah, a lot of SWAC schools buy into that nonsense, especially against SU. Yeah. And you have North Dakota State fans talking online. They online talking, and it's like, man, come on. We not worried about y'all. We not worried about y'all. Y'all done won all these championships, and you still got a SWAC school that's harder than you. You got to have a SWAC school in your mouth to get clout. That's what's going on. But let me put the phone number up here. The phone lines are open. I want y'all to call in and chime in on the conversation. Let me know if I'm tripping. Let me know. Phone lines are open, 657-390-4814. And we can talk about anything y'all want to talk about in this way. This is a checking in show. I hadn't done a show in a while, so I wanted to come on here and chop it up with y'all. And we can talk about anything y'all want to talk about regarding the SWAC. This is the show for y'all, pretty much. But I will have Mr. Ford calling in later on. He wants to call in and talk to y'all, so I will have him calling in later on. We got a call right now. Hold on just a second, y'all. I'm gonna cut the music off. Hold on. Oh, it's Mr. Ford right here. All right, Mr. Ford, you there?
Hey, this is Mr. Ford. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, Mr. Ford. You on?
Okay. Before we get into the topic of the day, let me acknowledge and send our condolences first to Master P. Master P's daughter died today. I think she was 29 years of age.
Oh, wow.
And Calvin McGee, who was Southern University graduate, played at Southern University, and played with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Had worked at schools like West Virginia University, had worked at Arizona, had always been the offensive coordinator for Rich Rodriguez, and actually was the offensive coordinator at the time of his death at Jacksonville State over in Alabama. Rich Rodriguez is their new head coach, but I believe he was 59 years of age. Okay, to the subject, let me just give you a book to read. There's a book called Only the Ball Was White. It's the story of the Negro Leagues. And one of the things Robert Peterson talked about was during the 1930s, and this has been kept a big secret, the Negro Leagues had the largest baseball game in America. It was called the Negro Leagues All-Star Game. It was held at Comiskey Park in Chicago. And it outdrew, and it was more popular than the All-Star Game with Babe Ruth and all those people in the major leagues. Now, one of the people that would come and see the Negro League All-Star was a man by the name of Branch Rickey. Now, you know who Branch Rickey is. Branch Rickey is the one who brought Jackie Robinson into Brooklyn, signed him, I think, in 46, and then brought him to the big team in 47. Okay? But here's the thing. At the time, Branch Rickey was with the St. Louis Cardinals. He would always come to the Negro League's All-Star Game, and it was two things he wanted. He wanted the money that the Negro Leagues was making, and he wanted the super players that the Negro Leagues had. And that was what he envisioned and had in his mind for many years before the coming of Jackie Robinson. Now, what does that have to do with today? One of the days, y'all going to realize that the hottest thing in college football, especially in the FCS, is the SWAC. Did you know that the SWAC has all of the big games in FCS? There are no games bigger than the classics in the SWAC, and they're numerous. We can start with the Magic City Classic in Birmingham, Alabama, between Alabama A&M and Alabama State.
Mm-hmm.
The Florida Classic in Florida between Bethune-Cookman and
FAMU.
Florida A&M. You come over to Mississippi, you have the Boombox Classic between Southern University and Jackson State. Then you also have the Capital City Classic or the Soul Bowl between Alcorn and Jackson State. Then we go over to the state of Louisiana. You have something called the Bayou Classic. Okay? Now, the Bayou Classic pits Southern University against Grambling every year. 50,000, 60,000, 70,000 people show up for that. Okay? You go over to Texas, and then on Labor Day weekend, you have a classic between Prairie View and Texas Southern. Those games that I just listed are the biggest games in FCS football.
Right.
You don't think those people are jealous of that? You don't think those people want the money that's being generated by those schools? You don't think those people want the athletes, the super athletes that are playing in those schools? Like I said, one of the problems that we have, we don't study history. Now, here's the thing about the Negro Leagues. When we, and it was us, black people, decided to destroy the Negro Leagues so that, quote unquote, blacks could play in the major leagues, always remember this. At the time, in the 40s, the largest black business in America was the Negro Leagues. It was an organization, a business that sprouted out other businesses, gas stations, hotels, barbershops. It provided thousands upon thousands of jobs for black people in America. We decided to destroy the Negro Leagues so some people could play for the Dodgers. Okay? We destroyed the largest black business in America. It stretched from the East Coast all the way over to the Mississippi River. Okay? Black people were making money off of the Negro Leagues, on and off the field. We destroyed it.
Right.
Don't you know that there are some people that want to destroy the SWAC even today? And those are those people that you're talking about that you hear on the airways going on and on. Okay? But I just want to encourage all of you to read that book, Only the Ball Was White, by Robert W. Peterson. The other book, and I've told you this before, is written by Dr. Claude Anderson. It's called White Wealth,
I love
Black
Claude Anderson.
Labor.
Claude Anderson.
Claude Anderson.
Yep.
He's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, I got some things that I wanted to bring up, but I didn't know if did they want to ask me some questions, or did they want me to continue?
Well, you can go ahead. So Kay Lawton asked a question that's kind of interesting. Well, he said something that's kind of interesting. He said we have to call it a classic to draw a large crowd. Do you believe that?
No, well, they basically call it a classic because usually it's in a major urban area where there are a lot of black residents. But the only thing I have with the classic, I want to eliminate the middleman.
Yeah.
Like, I agree with Jackson State with this thing about the Southern Heritage Classic. I want the classic to be controlled by Tennessee State and
Jackson State.
Jackson State. I don't want this promoter people involved.
Yeah.
Because what the promoters do, they'll take the majority of the money and then they'll issue scraps to the participants, the people who make it happen. Jackson State brings all the fans. Okay, but then you only get, it's a multi-million-dollar venture, but Jackson State gets, what, $300,000? I think that's ridiculous.
So Mr. Ford, Mr. Ford, how did that start, though? Like, what made them think, okay, what made them be able to let a promoter get them in a deal like that to where they only get
We
a little bit of money?
we have let's see. Okay, let me just go back a little bit. We got involved with the promoters during the late 60s when they brought Grambling and Morgan State to New York. It was called the Whitney Young Classic, and there were people in New York. Actually, the game was underwritten by the New York Yankees. Okay? It was underwritten by the New York Yankees. Okay, that became very successful. All right. Now, we did that throughout the 70s, but we got in trouble in the 90s. It was a guy named Leon Odom. He started trying to promote Jackson State games. Ultimately, Jackson State was playing a lot of their games in quote-unquote classics.
Mr. Ford, do you have the TV on in the background?
They lost a lot of money,
Mr. Ford.
which led to, I think, Dr. Davis.
Mr. Ford.
The people in Jackson were very upset about it. They eventually fired Dr. Davis. Dr. Davis had come to Jackson from Tuskegee.
Mr. Ford.
And he allowed this guy, Leon Odom, who was
Mr. Ford,
I believe he was a Tennessee State graduate. And they lost a lot of money. And then black schools kind of backed off from them. And then we kind of got back into it again. You know, it looked pretty good with that the Florida Classic looked good. They had something called the Atlanta Classic, which was, it pitted FAMU against Tennessee State. And we've kind of like been involved with it, but I just say, I don't want to cut out the Classic, but I say I want the schools to control the money. I don't want no third-party promoter to control the money. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
Mr. Ford.
If Tennessee State and Jackson are going to play in Memphis, then Tennessee State and Jackson need to control the money.
Mr.
We
Ford.
don't need no third party.
Mr. Ford.
Okay?
Can you hear me, Mr. Ford?
Yeah, I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, try to listen for me because I'm trying to retort to what you're saying. But do you have something playing in the background? Do you have a TV on?
I turned the volume off. Can you still hear it?
I hear something in the background, and I hear
I'll tell you what,
people talking.
Let me change rooms. Hold on one second. Hold on. All right, hold on 1 second.
The Atlanta Classic was the joint back in the 90s, right?
Yeah, actually it started in the 80s at Georgia Tech. It was Florida. I think 89 was the first game? It started at Georgia Tech. From Georgia Tech, it went to the Georgia Dome. How does it sound now? I changed rooms. Does it sound better?
Yeah, it sounds better now. You good to go.
Okay. Yeah. It was. I mean, major crowds. We talking the crowds at the Atlanta Classic between Florida A&M and Tennessee State. They were larger than any crowd that Georgia Tech had on their schedule. Those games were 50, 55 plus, standing room only. And they went over and then they eventually moved the game to the Georgia Dome once it was built, I believe, in 92. I think the Georgia Dome was built in 92. Maybe 92 or 93, somewhere around there.
Okay,
yeah.
So with these promoters, these promoters, they're trying to take legal action and things like that. Do you think that this is something that the SWAC can overcome and that we can get on a better footing?
Yes. Listen, it's always good to, first of all, reveal a promoter because he's nothing but a leech.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you have to take a hit and have to pay them off, get rid of those leeches because leeches will keep you in the poorhouse.
Mm-hmm.
So I was happy when Jackson State basically said that they was through with that Southern Heritage Classic because that guy's been getting over. I can't remember his name right now. He's up in Memphis, but he was getting over.
Yeah.
He's a leech.
Make sure y'all
you can't survive with leeches on you, can you?
Yeah.
When you find out a leech is on, you got to get rid of him. A leech is a bloodsucker.
Right. Let me tell you this real quick, Mr. Ford. Let me say this real quick to the stream.
I agree with Dion and them. No. Let me tell you something. Every year, you talking about.
Make sure y'all like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all get the likes up so we can get the stream out to everybody. We don't have any kind of trending headlines and the titles and stuff like that. So it's going to be a little harder for this video to get out to people. So make sure y'all hit that like button. We got 72 people in here. Let's try to at least get the likes up to 60. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Fred Jones of the promoter. Yeah, we talking about Fred Jones. Go ahead, Mr. Ford.
Get rid of him. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. If it means going back home and home, go back home and home.
So
get rid of those promoters. They're leeches. Like I just told you, a leech is a bloodsucker. You can't survive with leeches on you. Got to get rid of the leeches.
My thing is, what I'm surprised at is, was it nobody that was in charge of the SWAC back in the day to be able to make these business deals on their own, that you had to go get a promoter to do this? I just find it hard to believe that we didn't have the people that had the knowledge to do that.
Well, see, here was the problem. We had a string of bad commissioners.
Mm-hmm.
Before Dr. McClellan, we had a string of them. Ooh, I'm talking about, I can't remember. I have to look up their names. I remember Rudy Washington. I remember the guy who was a graduate of the University of Wisconsin. We just had a string of bad commissioners. And when you got a string of bad commissioners who don't pay attention to details, all kind of bad stuff goes on. And then once you get good people, competent people, relevant people, they basically show you how these incompetent people were doing nothing. And that's what's happened. Dr. McClellan comes in. He has a program. He has a strategy. Okay? So now we see that those people that we had before him, they were doing nothing. They were terrible. They were horrible. And that's why these, like we said, these promoters could get over the way they were getting over, because we didn't have leadership that cared. We now have leadership that cares.
Right. And so so we're gonna pivot. We're gonna pivot to talk about something a little bit more lighthearted. So I don't know if you heard about the woman that's over the Diamond Dolls dancing group. I don't know if you heard about this, Mr. Ford.
Is that the people at Southern or which school?
Yeah, so it was Southern. So she went and so Southern sent her a cease and desist to stop using the name Diamond Dolls. And so she went and trademarked the Fabulous Dancing Dolls. So the dance team for Southern, she went and trademarked that. And, she made a video talking about Southern. It went viral. It wasn't fun. It was funny. I don't believe she's really serious about the trademark. I think she was just doing it for attention. But it was hilarious that, that Southern sent her a cease and desist and didn't have the name trademark, their dance team name trademark. Right. I don't understand how that happened. Like, how don't you have that trademark going?
Well,
like you should have been did that decades ago.
When you're dealing with trademarks, you're dealing with the law.
Yeah.
That means that the legal counsel or the lawyers for Southern didn't do their job.
Yeah.
And anytime you're an institution like that, a school, a club, you got to have good legal representation. And if they are not informing you, because you got to understand, laws change, laws are created, and if you're not abreast of them, that's going to cause you problems. So all I can say is the legal team at Southern University, they weren't on their job. They didn't do what they were supposed to do. That's the only thing I can say on that.
Yeah. What do you think about, I know this is not SWAC related, what do you think about the coach from North Carolina A&T going to Tennessee? I really hate that happening.
Oh, I knew that was coming.
Yeah, I hate that for them, though.
Listen, they saw that guy dominating. Here's a guy that had less than a third of the budget of them schools in the SEC, and this guy was dominating them. I knew they were going to buy him out. And me and you done talked about this. Tamika Reed is next.
Yeah.
Tamika Reed is going to be going Power 5 real soon. I'm sorry. I want her to, like you said, I want her to build a powerhouse at Jackson and all of that. But let me tell you something. They getting ready to put millions in front of Tamika Reed, okay? They're getting ready to do it. From what I read an article about her about 2 weeks ago. There were some people, I think, offered her a job this year, and she turned them down.
Yeah, she turned them down because Jackson State was supposed to be doing a new contract for her.
The pot's going to get heavier now because she going to keep winning, and she going to win big. Next year, she'll probably knock off a Power 5 in the first round. I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm just going to tell you now, enjoy it while you can. Yeah, Ross is left A&T, and now he's gone to Tennessee. Tamika Reed is next.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I hate that. I hate that for them. So, do you think their program is still gonna be good, or you think they're just not gonna? They're not gonna be able to compete anymore. I hope they can get a new coach to go in there and kind of keep that going because now
Yeah,
they have a
this guy
legacy
was
of
really
having
good. I had
a
followed
good
this
track
guy
team.
about the last 4 or 5 years, and he was like Dion. You know, he had his children. I think he had 2 kids ran for him at A&T.
Yeah, he
but
got
they were really
Randolph
good.
Ross
I mean,
out
they
there.
were every year. At the end of the year, they would be the number 3 or number 4 program in the nation, with people like the University of Arkansas and Florida State and all of them people. Like I said, they ain't got a third of the money them schools got. But this guy was really good. I'm happy for him. You know, he was very successful at A&T. He brought A&T a lot of, and I'm glad you brought that up because let me just say this. I thought the baseball tournament was great this week. I started, when I would come home from school last week, I would watch at least one game. I thought the SWAC baseball tournament was just epic this year. I thought it was, and I just hope they videoed and can do a documentary on it and they can do a highlight because it was really good. One while I thought FAM was going to win it. Then I thought Southern was going to win it. I kind of thought Bethune-Cookman might win it. And then in the end, Alabama State won it. I thought that this tournament this year, and I'm saying this because I want these SWAC schools to spend more money on men's and women's track and field, spend more money on baseball and women's men's baseball and women's softball. We got to do that. The budget's got to go up. It's got to go up. Can't go down. Got to go up.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that during on SWAC baseball tournament this last week was great.
Yeah.
Ooh, it was really great.
So
Lauren, I'm just saying we got to spend more money.
Yeah, so Lawrence says, I wonder if Ross' son is going with him. I think he's going pro after this season. So, I think he's going to turn pro. This guy, he's like number 1 in the country right now. There's no reason for him to stay in college after this, unless he just wants to finish. Pro. And I think this might be his last year in college, if I'm not mistaken. So he might get his degree this year anyway.
I think so too. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a beast.
They were supposed to win the Big South Women's Championship, but it was taken from them because they said that one of the girls was ineligible. So that's the only reason they didn't win the Women's Big South Track and Field Championship.
Miss Ivy asked about Morgan State. What you think about the new head coach for Morgan State?
I don't know what took them so long in giving this guy a job. This guy's been successful for a while. This guy should have been up in the MEAC or the SWAC before now. This is long overdue. And I think he's going to do well. I hope that he does well at Morgan. I really do. Everybody knows now, South Carolina State is dominant in that MEAC. But I'm going to tell you now, the sleeping giant in that MEAC as far as football has got to be Norfolk State. Norfolk State, to me, when my sister was on the coaching staff at Hampton, and we would go over to Norfolk State. And I thought that Norfolk State kind of had a Southern University kind of take to me. I thought they should have been better. I thought they were kind of underachieving in the MEAC. I thought they should have been better. And I really feel today they're in the state of Virginia. They're in the Tidewater area. Virginia has all these players. They should be dominant in that MEAC now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they got to step up at Norfolk. Norfolk's got to step up.
Yeah, I mean, they got a good campus.
Should be better than what they are.
They got a good campus. They got nice facilities, so they should definitely be able to field a good team. Beautiful
stadium, beautiful facilities. Eccles Hall is the basketball arena. Nice baseball and softball. I'm thinking about 7,000-8,000 students. Is that right? They should be doing better than what they're doing in athletics. Let me just say it that way. I think they won the track and field championship this year in the MEAC. I think they did. I'm not sure. But they should be doing better than what they're doing. They should be better. Because if you look at South Carolina State, I don't know if South Carolina State has 2,000 students. I think they might be below 2,000 students, but they got Buddy Pugh, who is a giant in HBCU football.
You talking about as far as the all enrollment? You talking about enrollment? No,
I think South Carolina State may be below 2,000 students.
Are you sure? They think about 5,000, right?
We need to check that.
I can look it up right now.
Yeah, I just need to check it. But their football program is A1. I mean, they are Blue
Oh,
blood
you're
of
right.
HBCU
You're
football.
right. You're right. It's 2000. Well, in fall of 2020, there was 2020 students. Wow, that's a small.
Yeah.
That's small enrollment. I didn't think that.
Oh yeah, remember Nikki Haley and them proposed that South Carolina State be closed down. Oh,
Wow.
you remember Nikki Haley?
Mm-hmm.
She was in the Trump administration. I think she was she the representative at the United Nations, but she was governor of South Carolina. And they had put in a proposal that South Carolina State be closed down.
Wow.
And the people at South Carolina State, of course, stepped up and, fought it. But
So the fact that
and
they're
see the other thing.
so the fact that they're putting out the good teams that they're putting out and putting people in the NFL, and they have a small
they've
school
been
like
doing it for
that,
years.
that's crazy. That's something to be
Yeah, it's
commended.
real crazy.
Yeah.
It's real crazy. See, what they did was the money that was supposed to go to South Carolina State was diverted by those South Carolina officials and sent to Coastal Carolina. See, Coastal Carolina was started out as a community school,
Mm-hmm.
eventually became a college, and now it's a university. But the monies that was supposed to go to South Carolina, they diverted the money from South Carolina State and gave the money to Coastal Carolina. People in South Carolina who can hear my voice, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying is true.
So, Mr. Ford, so Jordan Haddon
Mm-hmm.
says, people might not like this, but we are FCS programs who happen to be HBCUs. Just me, but I hate when people say HBCU football. What you think about that?
Well, that just simply means when we say HBCU football, we're talking about a certain group of universities who, at one time couldn't even compete in what we would call the NCAA.
Mm-hmm.
So when we say HBCU, they know that we're talking SWAC, they know we're talking MEAC, they know we're talking CIAA, they know that we're talking SIAC, and I think it's another one I'm leaving out. But when you say that, if we say Division I HBCUs, you're talking MEAC, SWAC. If you say Division II HBCUs, we're talking CIAA, SIAC. That's what it means.
And what's wrong with?
It's a designated group.
Yeah, what's wrong with saying HBCU football? I like saying HBCU football. I like differentiating ourselves. I
ask the NFL about all them Hall of Famers that came from the HBCUs.
Right.
Tell whoever that go to Canton, Ohio, and you can see. I think Jackson State got 4. Grambling might have 4. I know FAMU has some. South Carolina State got some people in that Hall of Fame. Donnie Shell and maybe Harry Carson's in there. I think Harry Carson's in there. Marion Motley, who went to South Carolina State. But yeah, historically, that has some meaning when you say HBCUs.
I think
in other words, we know what schools you're talking about when you say HBCUs.
I've been looking at Southern a lot, and I think Southern's gonna be really good this year. I have been sleeping on them before, but
that was one of the things I wanted to bring. Let me tell you something. The pressure is on this man by the name of Henry Miller. If this man can come, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never been impressed with Miller. I saw him at Prairie View, and they played defense to me one year, the last year that they were down there. But if they can put together a defense, because I'm gonna tell you something. Eric Dooley, when it comes to offense, it's gonna be a high-flying offense. The thing about Southern is, are they going to have a dominant defense? They got the players. Now, where's the coaching? Okay? This guy, Henry Miller, got to do his job as defense coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
This guy I'm going to tell you let me tell you something. There are 3 schools right now that are dependent on their coordinator. The first one is Alabama State. Alabama State, this guy, Harry Williams, who is the offense coordinator, he's got to do his job. You got a 5-star quarterback coming to you that's transferring to you from Auburn University. You got to come up with the X's and O's. You got to come up with a system where he can flourish, but at the same time, you got to develop him so he can go to the NFL. If he's going to be compared to Kyler Murray, that means he has pro potential. The other one is this guy, Jeff Caesar, at Texas Southern. Like you always say, Andrew Body is the truth. Doug Marsh, as offensive coordinator, is the truth. But they got to have a defensive staff that can organize and put discipline in that defense so that they can stop people. Let me tell you something. If Alabama State can win 8 or 9 games, Southern University can win 8 or 9 games. Texas Southern can win 8 or 9 games. Do you know how hot that SWAC is going to be this year?
Oh yeah.
That SWAC is going to be hot.
I would go as far as to say.
Do their job.
Yeah, I would go as far as to say this is probably going to be the best SWAC that we've seen in quite some time.
Oh, in a long time.
Yeah, in a long time.
Listen, we hadn't had this kind of competition probably since the early 90s when Pete Richardson came into the SWAC. Pete came into the SWAC, I think, about 92, 93. I need to go check. I think it was 93 or 94. But when Pete Richardson came into the SWAC, a lot of people were offended because, first of all, he was not a SWAC person. He came from the CIAA. I think he was a graduate of Dayton. He played pro football for the Cincinnati Bengals. But the thing about his Southern teams, they didn't make any mistakes. They were well-oiled. They were organized. He had a defense coordinator by the name of Cliff Yoshida. I think Mark Orlando was the offense coordinator. And, baby, for the first 7, 8 years, they were dominant. Nobody could beat them. He basically embarrassed Coach Robinson. Coach Robinson was in his last days as head coach at Grambling. He embarrassed him. When Doug became the new head coach at Grambling, he caught hell with Pete. And I think he might have beat Pete maybe one time. And then Melvin Spears came in. And they had, this guy, Pete Richardson, this is where we at right now. We're going back to that. Maybe the late 80s when W.C. Gordon was, W.C. Gordon was so dominant, man.
Yeah.
When he was dominant. He retired, I think, in the early 90s, and that's when Pete Richardson came into Southern. But, man, we got so many good coaches right now, man. Listen.
And
I think this season's going to be epic.
Yeah. And I don't know the exact numbers, but I want to see if not Jackson State, but the whole SWAC, if we have the most 3 and 4 stars out of any FCS conference, because we have so many on different teams.
Yes, we do.
I don't know the exact number, but I don't think these other FCS schools have that many 3 or 4 stars like the SWAC.
And that's why they're mad, and that's why they're jealous, because so much talent has flooded the SWAC in the last 5 or 6 months, and that's why I keep telling everybody, all of these schools in the SWAC now got athletes. The thing now is who has the best coaching staff.
Yep.
Who has the best athletic director. Because these next 50 to 55 days are crucial. See, when I was coaching, June and July, that's when you put your discipline on paper. That's when you put your system on paper. Everything is put on paper. The season is planned out. The people who take advantage of June and July and do the things I just talked about, those are going to be the top teams in the SWAC. If you don't do what you're supposed to do in June and July, you are not going to be successful in this conference. And you're going to be exposed. And I'm going to tell you, they're going to get rid of you. Because there's some good people in the SWAC now. You got people in the SWAC that have been at the top level. They've been in the NFL. They know what's supposed to go on in June and July. Mm-hmm. This is when you win championships. This is when you win the games. It's during the off season. See, the kids now are in that gym. They pumping that iron. They working out. They running and going on. But the coaches got to be in that film room. They got to put the season on paper. They got to be planning and plotting. If they're not doing that, you're not going to win come September. You're not going to win.
Yeah, and I think Jackson State need to be careful. Like, I don't think they're not going to run over everybody. So I think it's going to be some close games. It's going to be some nail biters.
The conference is better.
It's going to be some teams that we didn't think was going to put up a fight that's going to put up a fight this year. So, man, I cannot wait for the season to start. Like, this is going to be some of the best SWAC
football. It's going to be epic. It's going to be epic.
In some
time. Like I said, those teams that are not taking it like I said, maybe the next 60 days, you're not planning, you and your coaches are not meeting. You've got to be meeting in June and July, Monday through Friday or Monday through Saturday, whatever, and you got to put that stuff on paper. You got to put what are your expectations? What is the offense you're going to run? What are the main plays you're going to run? What is your defensive system? And see, here's the thing that we got to do in the SWAC that Georgia did last year. You got to play 15 to 25 players on defense, because that's why Georgia was so dominant, because they were always fresh. Kirby Smart played 25 to 30 players on defense last year.
Yeah.
And that's what we got to implement that in the SWAC. We can do it because we got depth. We got all these players coming. Man, you know how, like you said, every day is a quality player. One of them's going to FAMU. One's going to Jackson State. One's going to Alabama State. One's going to South. Every day you hear quality people going to the school. That means we're going to have depth. You got to use your depth.
Yep. Mr. Ford, I got a call.
Yeah.
Let me get this call on real quick. Hold on just a second.
Okay. All right.
What's going on, Carly Live? Talk to me.
Yes, this is CJ from Jackson, Mississippi.
What's going on, CJ?
Just fine, man. Listen, I wanted to share some light. I know you talked last week about the Nick Saban deal.
Oh, yeah.
But it's the same old playbook, man. You go back to slavery time when you had the field hands and the Mendigo. It was entertainment value to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The same thing. Now, let's move it forward now. You got the 4 stars, the 5 stars, 3 stars. That's only entertainment value for these PWI schools. It sure is talent there, but that's entertainment value. And we talk about it wasn't bringing money. That brings money to the universities.
Right.
You'd be surprised how many athletes are educating these young PWI school students and stuff, and upgrading their facilities. And the coaches are getting paid about the amount of money they make for the universities.
Yeah.
So it's about that dollar.
Yeah, that's what it's been about.
Yes, it's always been about that dollar. But the first thing they do is they disguise the whole thing about, this is, Jimbo Fisher is on par with money with Nick Saban. And by Jimbo bringing out all these stars, the more money he's going to make for that university and the more money he can demand in his salary. Nick Saban, he's upset over that,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so,
and a lot of people feel like because of who he is that he shouldn't have to care about stuff like that. But when people want to dominate and people want to stay on top, they'll care about the smallest things. They want to stay where they at. They don't want to leave.
That's right. And see, we always have been nothing but entertainment value for those folks.
Yeah.
All
right.
And the bottom line, they make a little investment to get a whole lot of return. How many students we educate? Some of these athletes never finish school, some do. But the majority of the money is going to educate other kids.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
And you how you think a lot of these poor white kids are affording to go to Alabama? They're not taking out all these loans and stuff like we are, and all these other things to go to that school.
Mm-hmm.
You see, but I just wanted to call in and say that I know you had Mr. Ford on, and I enjoy listening to him.
Yeah, he's still on.
Mr.
He can hear you, Mr. Ford.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. I don't have you on mute.
Yeah, listen, I can't say nothing. Kudos to everything you said. Kudos. I agree with everything you said. Kudos.
Right.
Yeah,
so
everything you said, I agree with.
Mr. Ford, I enjoy you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Listen, you should get your own podcast.
I've been trying to get him to get one.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get him to start one.
Well, he would do good at it.
Yeah. He's awesome. We love Mr. Ford over here.
But anyway, I just wanted to drop that nugget there.
All right.
And you know what? If a lot of more of these black athletes hear what I just said,
oh yeah,
they only a pawn in the big game.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's it.
So why not do something for your own university versus that PWI that's taking advantage of you?
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I appreciate the call.
So but anyway, you all have a good evening, and I've been had this on me for over a week.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, but enjoy y'all and keep up the good work.
All right.
All right. Good night.
All right. All right. So, yeah, the phone lines are open, y'all. Phone number 657-390-4814. If y'all want to call in, get your thoughts out, talk about anything SWAC related you want to talk about, get your thoughts out. So, make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Really important for y'all to hit the like button. So, make sure y'all hit the like button. All right. What are y'all talking about? When does Middleton and Lee have to announce decision? Oh, the transfer from Florida State should be the starting nose guard. Oh, y'all talking about Jackson State?
Yeah, they saying True Thompson.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
he's supposed to be coming. He's supposed to be coming, I guess, this summer.
Yeah, he's small, but you can tell he's really strong. Like I like.
He looks dumb. I saw some footage of him. I mean, he'll make a difference. I think he'll make a difference in the spot. They'll know his name.
Yeah, man. I can't wait to see these games. I can't wait to see if Jackson State is going to be able to put it together. Because it's one thing to have these talented players, but they have to gel, and you have to be able to put these teams together because they can get beat. A talented team can get beat if they not gel.
Oh, yeah. But I still say Jackson State ain't got but one question mark.
The FAMU?
No. That offensive line.
Oh, yeah,
If that offensive line comes through for Jackson State and is dominant, let me tell you something. Jackson State will go undefeated. I know some people probably going to say you reaching, and I might be, but I'm going to just say this. If that guy does his job as offensive line coach and produces a dominant offensive line, Jackson State goes undefeated.
Yeah. Morrison said who has the most defensive depth. I think Jackson State does.
Yeah,
Jackson
but now
State.
Southern does too. From what I'm hearing, Southern. Let me see. Southern, Florida A&M is in that. And let's not leave out them Alabama schools now, because let me tell you something. Cornell Maynard went and got a boatload of folks to come to Huntsville after that whooping he took from Jackson last year. That man went out and got 57. He went and got a whole new team. He got 57 players.
You know what I'm wondering? I wonder is Southern going to change their identity? I know they have a new coach, but they always been known.
They're going to be high flying. It's going to be probably 70-30. They'll be throwing it 70% of the time, 30%.
Okay, so that's going to be different. Because they used to be running the ball a lot. They was known for having a great running game.
Under the guy that went to Norfolk, he had them wide receivers that he wasted to me. Because he basically could have went triple option. Coach Odoms kept that ball on the ground, and he wanted triple option with that Skelton. I think his name was Skelton. But this guy right here, Eric Dooley's a mad bomber. They gonna throw the football. They gonna throw the football.
I don't think they should go away from the run game entirely, though. I don't think they should go. I don't think they should go away from the run game entirely, though, because that's been their identity. Ground and pound, having a great offensive line.
Listen, they'll throw it at least 60% of the time.
Yeah.
They'll do some running, but 60% of the time he's gonna throw the football. I've been watching Dooley. Dooley's offense is gonna be high flying. He's gonna throw to his backs. He's gonna throw to his tight ends. He's gonna throw to his wide receivers. Everybody's gonna touch that football in the air. That's just his style.
Yeah.
He gonna throw to everybody.
And one thing I noticed, like Maynard is being really quiet right now. So
that's why he's dangerous.
Yeah, he's very quiet. He's not talking. He got humbled last year. He got humbled, and so
he did.
He's gonna try to get his get back.
I really do. I think he learned. He and this guy that he has as his defense coordinator, they went to the Division II championship against, I think, Valdosta State some years back when he was at Winston-Salem. I'm expecting big things out of Alabama A&M, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm expecting big things out of Alabama State. I'm telling you, if you get 9 wins out of Alabama State, man, that SWAC is gonna be so hot. Whoa, that SWAC is gonna be hot. And if Mississippi Valley, that offense coordinator comes, because I think they're gonna play defense. I know that Mississippi Valley is gonna play defense with them. My only thing is who's gonna be the trigger man? Who is gonna be the quarterback and offensive system and the continuity, the consistency? If they get that, baby, you better watch Mississippi Valley.
Yeah. So we only got 72 likes, y'all. We got over 100 people in here. Let's try to get it to 90. Let's try to at least get to 90 likes. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Man, are probably working 7 days a week. He plotting.
Yeah, that's him. That's him. He's a good man.
Yeah.
He's a good man. He's very competitive. You can bet that Alabama A&M is gonna be in the thick of the thing. They're gonna be tough. And as every game go by, they're going to get better because that's his style.
Yeah.
That's his style.
If y'all want to call in, the phone lines are open, 657-390-4814. The phone lines are open. You want to call in, get your thoughts out. You want to talk about anything SWAC related, just call in, 657-390-4814. Also, make sure y'all subscribe to Tomorrow Leader Sports Network. He's a great brother, does great content for HBCU football. Make sure y'all look him up too as well. Who do y'all think will win the QB battle at Grambling?
Woo, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think they brought that kid all the way from California to sit on no bench now.
Yeah, I think that's who. I think that's who's going to start.
Yeah,
honestly.
But now I've heard they brought a kid in from North Texas, a big kid, about 6'3", 6'4". He was at North Texas, and I want to say he's left-handed. That kid might make a splash, but I really believe the job is going to go to Halloween. I like what I see out of Halloween. You and I have talked about this before. Hugh Jackson is from the Norm Chow tree, that West Coast offense. And in the Norm Chow offense, every play you got like 5 receivers you can go to. I just feel like he needs to cut his progressions down. If the first receiver's not open, look to the backside for the deep post or the deep route, and then let that boy run. You know, that's what Dan Reeves did with Michael Vick. He took all of this. He made it so simple for Michael Vick. That's why Michael Vick did so well those early years with the Falcons under Dan Reeves, because Dan simplified it. And that's what they got to do for Halloween. Simplify it. He's young.
Mm-hmm.
He'll get it eventually, but simplify it right now. Let him look for 2 people. Them 2 people ain't open, take off.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to what Hugh Jackson does on that offense because
I want to
see if he can bring NFL quality offense to Grambling. Like, could they be?
Yeah.
Could they show out like that? That's what I want to see. Do they have the players that can play that type of offense that he wants to run?
I think they do. I really do. And like I said, when I looked at the spring game, I saw the spring game on YouTube. The only question mark I saw was quarterback. That's the only question mark.
Yeah, Frederick Thigpen says, how do you feel about the Mexican being the head drum major for the Boom? Hey, man, that guy earned it. Y'all can,
sure did.
You can say what you want to say.
Yeah,
that guy earned it. Like, when I seen them, like, I watched the Boom when they had, like, a tryout or whatever. They had all these drum majors trying out for it, and he stood out. He jumped off the screen. He stood out. Like, and not just because of his color, but the way he moved, he stood out. And you could tell that, you know, he's been a leader amongst that group. So, hey, you got to give it to him. Like, you can't penalize people because they're, you know, they aren't black at a HBCU. He earned it. That guy's really good, so he earned it.
Yeah.
We're not entertainment anymore. Believe that. Trust and believe. Yeah, right. Mr. Ford, what are your thoughts about Alcorn this year?
You know, I'm a big fan of McNair's, but here's the situation. I just see. Let me tell you something. I learned this some years back. Winning starts with the president, and I just don't see the president of Alcorn being on the same level with Coach McNair. I just don't see it. That's another reason I'm so skeptical of Texas Southern. I know that they're trying to get it together, but they change presidents every 3 and 4 years. There's I can't remember the lady's name. I know her. I've read her resume. Her resume is great. But what is she doing for Coach McKinney? Do they have regular conversations? I know that Coach Sanders, Coach Prime, is having conversations with President Hudson. I know that. I know that he's talking with his AD, and that's what I'm saying at Texas Southern. Is their head football coach talking to the AD every day? Is the head football coach at Texas Southern talking to the president every day? I don't get that. But I do know that winning starts in the president's office. And I'm going to say this, too. Now, I am a big fan of Florida A&M, okay? But I'm just saying now, I see some division down there between the president, the athletic director, and the head football coach. To me, I might be wrong, but I don't think they're on the same page. And in the end, that's going to hurt the Rattlers.
So yeah, I can see Alcorn being middle of the pack, this year.
Yeah. Like I said, I just got this relationship between the AD, the head football coach, and the president got to come closer together for me, and I'm not seeing that.
Drusilla says our young men have been programmed to go Power 5. Like, yeah, that's what we got to stop. We got to kick that programming. We got to, once we get our players into the league, they start seeing these players from HBCU going to the NFL, they'll be more confident coming into the SWAC and other HBCU leagues. But that's what we got to do.
Now,
we got to kick that.
They're doing these Gallup polls on these black athletes right now. And this is what's happening. You got about 33% of these high school athletes and some of these transfers that want to go to HBCUs. At the same time, you got about 66% of these athletes in the high schools and who are transfers that want to remain either Power 5 or Group of 5. Mm-hmm. Okay, so right now, out of all of the athletes, 30% of them are highly interested in HBCUs. About 33% of them are highly interested. I think I told you about there was a Gallup poll done out in the Midwest, and a lot of those black athletes in the Midwest are saying they want to come south and they want to look at a HBCU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people got to understand, kids, they want to be around the culture. They see what's going on social media, and let's be honest, a lot of them like to date black girls.
Yeah,
you're gonna have a plethora of them at HBCUs, So that's one of the main reasons they want to come too, So let's not act like that doesn't factor in.
There you go.
If he's head in.
So we got. I mean, like I said, every day I'm checking, and there's a kid coming from a Power 5, Group of 5. He's going to FAMU. He's going to Jackson. He's going to Southern. He's going to Grambling. He's going to Tennessee State. I'm just seeing it every day. Yeah. But here's the thing: we're getting the athlete. But here's the thing. What about our coaching staff? They got to do their job. Right. They got to do their job. Because like I said right now, with all these athletes we getting, it's about coaching now. Right. And I'm going to say this again to that Mr. Harry Williams, offense coordinator, I need you to come up with a plan for this kid that's coming to you from Auburn. I don't need this kid wasted. I don't need you to do what Joe Taylor and them did to Curtis Pulley down there at Florida A&M. I don't know if y'all remember, Curtis Pulley was a quarterback at the University of Kentucky. He transferred to FAMU. His dad had played for Billy Hayes at Winston-Salem. Billy Hayes was the AD at Florida A&M. That kid transferred to Florida A&M. Here's the situation. Joe Taylor had the dumbest offensive coordinator you could find. He did nothing for that kid. That kid could run and throw. He was the total package. He was a dual threat. You look him up. Look him up. His name was Curtis Pulley. They did nothing for him at FAMU. As far as I'm concerned, they ruined his career. I don't want that to happen at Alabama State with that kid.
So Craig Hall says...
I want Mr. Harry Williams to get a program together for this kid.
Right. So Craig Williams asked, what's your top 5 QBs in the SWAC?
Ooh, that's hard.
Yeah, it is. And then we have a lot of new guys that we haven't really seen perform
that's
yet.
What I'm telling you. This kid that's supposed to come to Alabama State, listen, from what the media is saying and what the people are saying out in Texas, they saying this kid is already the best quarterback. I haven't seen him play yet. I've seen highlights, but there's some people saying this kid is the best quarterback in the SWAC now. Now, I'm going to go with Shadua. I love Shadua. Okay, now, and I told y'all before, a lot of people get mad with me. That kid that came to Florida A&M from Vanderbilt, that boy can play. I watched him in that spring game. See, that kid got some stuff you can't even coach. They call him Moose or something, but he's from California. He's transferred from FAMU. He came to FAMU from Vanderbilt. Okay, that kid can play. Okay? You know that Cardinal Maynard going to get them kids ready up at Alabama. Now, personally, I think the kid who transferred from Jackson State should be the number one quarterback. Now, that's just me talking. Okay, that's what I'd like to see. That Quincy Casey?
Yeah, Quincy Casey.
What's his name?
Quincy Casey. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that kid should be the number one quarterback at but now they got a kid there from the University of Miami. He's coming in. They got another kid, I can't remember his name. That's hard, man.
All right. Mr. Ford, let me get these calls real quick, Mr. Ford.
He's coming in from Louisiana Tech. His highlights look great.
Mr. Ford, you hear me? I got some calls.
What'd you say?
I got some calls. I'm gonna get these calls. Hold on just a second.
Okay, get the call. Right. Yeah, okay.
What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
Hey, how you doing, man? It's Chris from Dallas, Texas.
Okay. 1 second, Chris. Caller area code 407. You're next, and then 240. You're after that. Go ahead, Chris.
All right, man. Shout out to you, bro, and Mr. Ford, man. This is like my third time tuning in and listening to you guys. But I played ball at the PWI. I played ball at the University of Mississippi. And it's one thing that I can say. A lot of people say, well, you just a number, you're not a name, you all this and that. But we are very much so respected by those universities. And the thing is that my whole family went to HBCUs. My dad played on a national championship football team at FAMU. So I
What's your dad's name?
My dad's name is Carl Wiggle.
What? I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Carl Wiggle.
What year? Do you know what years he played at FAM?
It was I want to say I think I won in 1973 or 76. One of those.
Yeah, I probably saw your dad play. Now, did your dad play for Rudy Hubbard or he played for Jim Williams?
He played for Coach Hubbard.
Oh yeah, he was on some dynamite teams then.
Yes,
he
sir.
should have played.
But let him finish his point about Ole Miss. I want to hear what you're gonna say. Go ahead, Chris.
Yes, sir. But the thing is that I grew up around that culture, man, and I never got a letter, never got anything in response to going to a HBCU to play ball. And I did get a couple academic letters, but it was nothing as far as football goes. So because they felt like maybe I was out of reach, or I wasn't going to give them the time of day, which was totally false. They didn't reach out to me.
Right.
I feel like now that's changing.
Yeah.
And my parents have wrote checks to not only my mom is graduate of Spelman University, but my family has wrote checks to FAMU and Spelman, and also Alabama State and Alabama A&M. And me being a grown up, me being a 33-year-old black man, I choose to write checks to Florida A&M and my alma mater, Ole Miss. Just because I feel like it's important to reach back to the community and try to pull some of our young black men up into the world of academia.
Okay.
But this is the thing right here.
Oh, go ahead.
This is the thing I really want to get across, is that I see everything that Coach Prime is doing at Jackson State, and I see everything that Coach Willis Simmons is doing at FAMU. and I love it all. The thing that I put in high regard is that, fam, you ain't ducking no Power 5 smoke, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Jackson State, you ducking, man. Coach Prime, you ducking. If you got them boys like you say you got them boys, then you go and you play some Power 5 schools, or at least play some Group of 5 schools, man. I don't wanna see you dominate the SWAC. I want to see you dominate the SWAC, true enough. But I don't want to see you, get all riled up and everything like that, because you beating teams that, they not scrubs now, but you beating teams that you supposed to beat. I want to see you beat some teams or compete with.
Oh my God!
That you're not supposed to play with. All right, and that's how we gonna judge this thing. Because I know a whole lot of people in Oxford, Mississippi, and in Starkville, Mississippi, and Hattiesburg, Mississippi, that see what Prime doing, and see all what he's saying, all this stuff, and they like, you know what? Come on up that road, or come on down that road to Hattiesburg, or come on up that road to Starkville and Oxford, Mississippi, because it's coming. It's coming. Prime stay up for 2 more years, he gonna see. He gonna see. And that's what we want to see, because I think they can compete.
Yeah.
I think they can compete. They just need to, man, give them a chance, man. Give them boys a chance. You say you got these 4 stars and these 5 stars and all these guys that can play good ball, man. We want to see. Look, man, we know the real reason why you took the job at Jackson State. You know what I'm saying? We know the real reason. We know. I seen Shiloh in Oxford playing with South Carolina. Look,
yeah.
man, that's your son. He ain't like you.
You don't think Shiloh like that?
Nah, he not like that.
You don't think he got
Elijah Moore burnt him plenty of times, man. Routed him up. It looked silly. You want no SEC player. His son, his youngest son, I don't know, maybe he got a shot, but, bro, you signed with FAU. That's telling me everything. You know what I'm saying? If it was like that, you would have went to a big time. You would have.
Well, he got offers from Alabama. He got offers from a lot of big time schools.
Offers?
Though. Yeah.
I don't know about no offers, dog.
He got offers.
He did.
I don't know.
Yeah, he got offers.
No
just go to 247.
Yeah. Yeah, you got offers.
Well, hey, look. Well, okay.
He chose FAU because that coach is Coach Prime's friend. So
yeah,
he wanted to play. He wanted to play for him.
That makes,
but
still, I compete, man. If you the best, compete. I just want to see you compete, man. I want to see you play against the best. I'm not trying to wait till Travis Hunter gonna get to the NFL to see if he really like that, man. I don't. I want to see him. I want to see them play against somebody right now. I want to see that man excel. That's what I want to see.
I think you're gonna see Jackson State schedule some schools like that in a year or two. But I think this year, he want another recruiting cycle to come in so he can have that depth, because he want that depth. Because that's what these Power 5 schools have. They can bring a 4-5-star in off the bench. Coach Prime wants to be able to not have a drop off in quality when he has to sub a player in. So I think once he gets his depth built up, I think you'll see him scheduling some big time schools, because he's gonna want to get those looks against some big time schools before he enter the draft. Right. But I appreciate the call. I got another caller.
I really do think he got what it takes, man. I really do think he got what it takes. But another thing, all right, I love what Tennessee State has as far as facilities go. I feel like right now that as far as, HBCU written facilities, that they are one of the leading HBCUs with that. But let's talk about this shed that Jackson State putting on this practice field they got, man. Come on, bro. Hey, it's money. Y'all can reach down in them pockets, man. They can reach down in them pockets, man, and get them boys a quality indoor practice facility, man. They deserve it, man.
That's already coming. You ain't seen that?
Yeah, nah. I seen a pavilion put over a practice field. That's not an indoor practice facility.
Man, I think
That's not that.
I think they're gonna over time they're probably gonna make it an indoor because the way it's structured, you can tell by the way it's structured, it can be turned into an indoor facility out the wild. So I think
Okay.
that's just probably gonna be the first phase to make it look like that, and then over time they'll probably add on to it. But I got another call. I don't want to keep them on hold too long. I appreciate you calling.
Yes, sir, man. Appreciate y'all.
All right, thank you. All right, all opinions are allowed. You know, hey, that's how he feel. That's how he feel. Yeah, he played for Ole Miss.
Yeah,
What's going on, Carly? You live? Talk to me.
yeah, Coach Stewart here from Maryland.
What's going on,
Yeah, I
Coach
wanted
Stewart?
you and Mr. Campbell to talk about something that's not been talked about that much, and that is the SWAC kicking games. Who has the best field goal kickers or kickers that you think might make a difference? I know Southern was saying that they had this All-American guy coming in, but I haven't heard anything about the kicking. Is he still there? Is he coming? What does the kicking game look like in the SWAC?
Well, I know Jackson State is trying to upgrade the kicking. I know they have a 4.5 star guy that's coming next year, and I think they got one this year that's there. Yeah, I think Southern kicking should be fine. The guy they have there is straight. What you think, Mr. Ford? I haven't really been
Well,
focusing
now
on the kicking like
traditionally,
that.
we've had a problem in the kicking game.
Yeah.
Special teams, as far as kicking, field goals, punting, has been a problem. Now, you're correct. There's a kid coming out of the Metro Atlanta area that's, I think he's a 5-star. He's supposed to be going to Jackson this year. And some of the other teams have made it a priority to get. And you brought up a very good point. We have had problems in the kicking game over the years, not just last year and the year before, but for a number of years, we've had problems in the kicking game. Now, I'm hoping that that's another area where our coaching has to be upgraded. Okay? We need to have it where kickers and punters are going from the SWAC to the NFL, to the CFL, to the USFL. But that has to begin with good organization and good coaching. You brought up, whoever you are, you have brought up a very good point. That's something we need to work on, the kicking game.
Yeah.
Yeah, Coach Stewart here. Yeah,
Coach Stewart, good to hear you. You brought up a key point. You're right. And it's been a problem for us for a number of years. Because usually when you go to these schools, usually the punters and the kickers are of the other persuasion, okay? When you do see a black field goal kicker or a black punter, you kind of like, it makes you go, But it's something we got to upgrade. And that has to begin with coaching and scouting.
Coach Stewart, what do you coach at?
The other thing I wanted to bring up is that the fan base and stuff in the SWAC, we all getting excited about the new image that seems to be out there, and we want to have time on TV and things, but they have to realize that, and the moderator hit on this a little bit, and that is that these schedules are made a long way out. So even though they may want to play some of these Power 5 teams and stuff, you're talking about at best maybe 2 years out,
Yeah.
So
you're absolutely correct. I know the FAMU's schedule, I think, for the next 5 years is set. It might be longer than that. Because my thing with FAMU is I want FAMU to play Tennessee State. When I was growing up, I saw Jefferson Street, Joe Gilliam play against FAMU for years. I want FAMU to put Tennessee State back on their schedule. And somebody was telling me it can't be until at least the next 5 years because their schedule is already complete.
Yeah. Mr.
All right.
Coach Stewart.
Thank you.
Coach Stewart.
Yeah.
One question. What do you coach at? I was curious about that.
Well, I'm retired now, but
Okay.
I coach at the University of D.C., and I coached at Howard University,
Okay.
track and field, and I played football at the University of D.C.
Okay.
And a lot of people don't realize that's HBCU, but it is.
Okay, cool,
Listen,
cool.
so did you coach Earl Jones and Michael Britt?
No, I was a little bit before them, and Earl
Okay.
and them, they played basketball, but I did
Right.
coach I did play on the team with Sam Jones when he was the coach, and and when I was the head track coach there at UDC, Sam Jones was our athletic director.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I appreciate the call.
All right.
All right, thank you. All right, y'all. If y'all want to call in, phone number 657-390-4814. Phone lines are open if y'all want to call in, get your opinions out. Make sure y'all hit that like button, get the likes up to get the stream out to more people. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all hit that like button. North Texas versus Texas Southern. What's your thoughts?
It's a blowout by North Texas.
Yeah.
First of all, North Texas has 85 scholarship. Texas Southern might have 65. That's not going to be close.
Yeah, it's gonna be a blowout.
Disrespectful, that wouldn't be close.
Texas Southern got a good offense, but their defense is not that good.
Yeah,
I got another call. I'm gonna get this one.
Jeff Caesar, he has to step up. He's got to do his job. He's got to put together a dominant defense at Texas Southern. If he does it, I believe that they win 8 or 9 games.
Okay, let me get this.
You can't play in the SWAC with you. You gotta have offense, defense, special teams. You just come in there with Andrew Bott in offense, you win 4 or 5 games. You come in with offense and defense, you win 6, 7. You come in with offense, defense, and special teams, you win 8 or 9.
All right, let me get this next caller. Hold on, y'all. What's going on, Carter? You live? Talk to me.
Hello?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. This is Drusilla.
Hey, Drusilla, how you doing?
I'm good. Listen, you had a comment a little while ago, and a gentleman was saying about our young men in the Power 5 schools.
Mm-hmm.
And my opinion is that our young men have been prepped to go to think Power 5 before they think HBCU.
That's true.
Because they go ahead.
I said that's true because, you know, their parents probably steer them that way because their parents probably look at Power 5 schools as their quickest way to the NFL. So, you know, you have some parents that steer their children that way. But go ahead.
Okay. So if you go back to James Houston.
Mm-hmm.
James Houston stayed at the Gators for how long?
4 years.
Yeah, he was there 4 years.
4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And did you know, or anybody in Jackson, you may have know James Houston's name before he played those 6 months with Jackson State?
No. He played okay at Florida, but he didn't play, you know, well enough to go to the NFL. When he got to Jackson State,
he was out of position at Jackson.
Yeah, when he
at Florida, they played him at middle linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
To me, he was a little too small. He was aggressive now, but he was small. Yeah. Jackson. First thing, Jackson put him in a power position where he could be outstanding, and they put him in a position where the pros would look at him. Because they took him from the outside and put him, from the inside linebacker position and made him a defensive end, a stand-up defensive end.
Go ahead, Ms.
Okay, great. That's my point. So this is what Dion did for him. So a lot of my guys, they're great players, but they don't get the opportunity to show that greatness. So guess what? You never hear their names. They're never called, and they go to the Power 5 with the hopes and dreams of showing what they can do, what they have, and they have it in their hearts, they have it in their minds, but they don't get that opportunity because the bench is sitting there.
Right.
And they're on it. And I know that the parents don't think, and the kids don't think that the HBCUs has anything for them. But I think if they would look at James Houston just for a second and see, hey, James Houston didn't even play a year at Jackson State.
Right.
And everybody knows his name.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that's what I want our young men to see. The Power 5, if that's what you want to do the Power 5, but understand you can have a better opportunity at the HBCUs where you're going to stand up. If you have that much, as Dion says, that dog in you, you really want it, you're going to get it.
Oh, yeah.
And that's all it takes. That's what we need our young men to know there is a place for you with your people, and we want to see you thrive.
Right,
We really do.
All right, I appreciate the call. Appreciate you putting your input in. And I see you in the chat coming, so I appreciate you being active in the chat as well.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Bye. All right, that was Miss Drusilla. And I agree with everything she said.
Oh, yeah, I do too. I do too.
All right, the phone lines are open, 657-390. I'm not going to keep Mr. Ford too long, so I'll take one or two more calls. I know it's out there. It's out the 11 on the East Coast, so I don't want to keep y'all up too late. So I'll take a couple more calls, and then we'll go and shut the show down for tonight. But the phone lines are open, 657-390-4814. Someone hung up. It was a area code 407, I think. They hung up, so you could call back if you want to. If you want to call in and get on the show. I knew about Houston. He was that one that said Oklahoma wasn't the SEC before the Florida versus Oklahoma bowl game.
That's right.
Yeah, that's where I remember him from too. You know, that went viral because they ended up losing.
They got blown out.
Yeah, they ended up losing. So
yeah, Oklahoma blew him out. That was Spencer Rattler, I think.
All right, we got another call. Hold on just a second.
Okay.
What's going on, Carly Live? Talk to me.
Oh, how you guys doing, man? It's Tony calling from Houston, Texas. How you guys doing?
What's going on, Tony?
I'm all right, man. Hey, I called in your show maybe like 3-4 weeks because I told you I went to Norfolk State and I went free agent to the Buffalo Bills. And you guys asked me a question, who was my head coach at Norfolk State? It was Maurice Forte.
Oh, okay.
My head coach, I know Mr. Ford.
So Mr. Ford.
That question.
Yeah, Mr. Ford, it was the guy that you wanted to talk to that was on the line.
Yeah, Forte. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
He's
dead now. He
worked in the NFL?
Yeah, he worked in the NFL. He coached at North Carolina A&T. His last year was at Arkansas Fine Bus.
He's deceased, right?
Yeah, he's deceased now.
That's right. I remember him. He had Alan Hooker. I think he had Alan Hooker at A&T. Alan Hooker's son is now the starting quarterback at the University of Tennessee. His name is Herndon Hooker. But, I remember Forte. Yeah, Forte he worked for 2 or 3 NFL teams.
Yes, he did. That was my head coach the first year I was there, and then my last year we had Coach Willis Gillis, who played in the league, and we just had a terrible season after that when he came in. And that was due when you were talking about homeboys, looking out for homeboys. Right. Our president went to college with him when he played at Norfolk State, and he was the quarterback. He was All-American. He had no coaching experience. He brought him in as our head coach, and that year we went 1-11, and that was the worst year I ever had as a college football player when that happened. But I was calling in. You know, I like what the last lady talked about with Jackson State. You know, I've been following the SWAC a little bit ever since Dion got in there. And last time I was telling you guys, I like how he changed the whole playing field with college football. Now you guys are talking about, I'm going to just say this. Jackson State is like Alabama in the SEC. Even though everybody else got better, they still have the best players, player for player. You know?
Yeah.
At every position, their players is going to be out talented than everybody else's player. Now, let me show you guys something. It took 2 teams out of the SWAC to beat them. It took Louisiana Monroe and it took the South Carolina State to beat them. Nobody in the SWAC could beat them. Even though they had a lot of deficiencies, nobody could take advantage of their deficiency. You know, the 2 teams out of the conference did, but nobody in the SWAC could. So let me show you something. How college football just changed. Even though all these young players is coming into the SWAC from Division I schools or junior college All-Americans, because I was a junior college All-American. Even though I didn't want to go to Norfolk State, but the classes that I took, because I was supposed to go to USC, but classes that I took, they're getting transferred into USC. But Norfolk State took them. You know, they took them and offset offset it, so I ended up going to Norfolk State. So let me show you something, because I played in the MEAC. So I know what you were saying, Mr. Ford, how the talent is changing. Because when I was in the MEAC, the same schools I was winning, Bethune-Cookman, FAMU, every now and then A&T, every now and then Hampton. But those two schools was consistently winning the MEAC. If they didn't win it, they was playing for it. You see what I mean?
Right.
We was the school that didn't get the much competition, so we was always at the bottom, 5 and 6, 6 and 5. You know what I'm saying? We keep losing to the same schools. Now let me show you what Jackson State just did. Okay, they're gonna be the powerhouse team because their players are so good. Even though you said the offensive line is weak, let me show you what Deion is doing. All you got to do is hit on certain players. That's what he did with James Houghton. Nobody knew about James Houghton when he was at Florida. Even though he played at Florida, he was a role player.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He wasn't a starter.
Yeah.
Most of Jackson State guys that come to Jackson State all was role player at Division I schools. You know, if they was household names, they would have never came to Jackson State. So they came to Jackson State for opportunity. You know, Deion take these kids, even though they got a lot of athletic ability, they 3 and 4 stars, even though they probably was backing up other guys at the Division I schools, but they so good enough, they one step ahead of the SWAC.
Right.
You see what I mean? Because these players' talent is still above the SWAC. Deion still got the best players in the SWAC.
Right.
You know, he's going to go between, if he don't go undefeated, he's going to lose between 1 to 2 games. I don't even see him lose 2 games. I really see him dominate the SWAC. Like how Alabama dominate the SEC. Even though everybody else good, they got good players, but he always going to have the better players in the conference because he do. He got a 5-star. And I see Jackson State at least getting 5 guys drafted. I see their whole secondary getting drafted. 2 corners, 2 safeties is getting drafted from Jackson State. Probably the linebacker number 45 and
Miller.
Miller. Everything else it depends on you know how Deion work it and talk to the scouts. You know, because you know I've been to the league, so I went to Buffalo as a free agent, and I know when I see talent, and those boys got talent. Even though the offensive line is a little shaky, but guess what? It only takes 5 for him to hit on. Just what he do. Now I'm gonna show you what Jackson State, because they box office. Everywhere they're gonna go, because when they come to play Texas Southern, I'm going to the game. You know how long I've been living in Texas? I've been living in Texas for 5 years. I'm from Fort Lauderdale. I didn't go to no. I would have never thought about looking at no SWAC football. It wasn't interesting. You know what I'm saying? You know, the brand of football wasn't just good. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it real with you. But now, the brand of football is there. So all these people, everywhere Jackson State travel, they're gonna bring out the iffy fans, so fans. So now they're gonna come out to these games to watch them because they box office. You see what I mean? Same thing like as a player. If I was a player at University of Texas Southern and Deion is coming to town, guess what? We're going to hit the field room more harder. We're going to hit the weight room. We're going to be on practice on time because guess what? You play Jackson State. Guess what? You're probably going to be on TV. And if Deion say you was that player that was good and he points you out, you got a good chance of going to the league. Yeah. So a lot of guys going to step their game up when they play Jackson State because it's an opportunity to shine it from Deion. Because guess what? Deion got clout in the NFL. He got credibility. If he say you good, you good. Scouts gonna tend to look at you. Just like how he said that kid at South Carolina State in his press conference when they lost. Hey, they got a kid over there that's really good. I think he's drafted. Guess what? That kid ended up getting drafted.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So he's gonna bring out the best. Yes, they're gonna bring out the best when they play against everybody else in the SWAC. You see what I mean? Because I've been watching, I've been following because there's a lot of excitement. You know, and I like what you said earlier, Mr. Ford, about how the competition is flooding in. So let me show you something. These guys that normally would go to schools like here, they probably would go to the white university because they think they got a better shot of going to the NFL. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking as a player because I was a player, so I'm looking at it as a player thing. But now, since you watch, you see a lot of guys. You know, you got 4 guys in that end up going drafted. But guess what? That's where a lot of people ain't paying attention. You had a lot of guys with free agents that got opportunities in the NFL that didn't get drafted. That's big, Mr. Ford and SWAC Buzz. that's really big. Because normally they would give out those free agent deals to guys in the PWI or the Power 5 to fill up their rosters. You know what I'm saying? Just because they know that these guys will be pretty good, they got a little talent, so we can work with them. Black college guys, we wouldn't get that opportunity to get those free agent contracts the way we did this year. Jackson State had 6 alone off their team that got a free agent deal. That normally wouldn't happen. That's what I mean by him letting the players feel. Even though that these guys still get in their door inside of NFL camp. Now, once you get in, it's on you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's all we just want, the opportunity to get in. That door we never got. That door was shut on us because all of us can get opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Unless you knew somebody, your agent knew somebody. Like my agent, he had an inside club with Buffalo Bills. It was a player for a player. They brought me in camp, and I had to get in there and do my thing, and I made the practice squad. You know what I'm saying? 9 out of 10, that door always would be shut. You know what I'm saying? You have to really stand out for them to come in and invite you. If you didn't get into the combine, you know what I'm saying? It was a long shot that you was going to get in. You know what I'm saying? And that the door is open now. That's why a lot of guys seeing this and paying attention. That's why the SWAC is a hot conference. It's just like the SEC. It's just like the SEC. You know what I'm saying? Even though we ain't on that level, but you give it some time, we will be. As long as these players keep coming and coming and coming, eventually we will level the playing field. Right now, I believe this year we'll be able to beat all them Division I AA schools. Right now, I believe we will beat them this year because we all got certified talent. You know what I'm saying? Like some of the schools at the bottom, they might struggle, but the heavyweights, the Southern, the Grambling, the Jackson State, the FAMUs, they should be able to hold their own. The Texas Southern, we got to bring them up. The Alabama State, we got to bring them up. But the heavyweights on top of the SWAC, I feel like they should be able to hold their own because they still got better competition. You know what I'm saying? They got better players. You know what I'm saying? In certain positions. Then you said about the quarterback play and the defensive coordinators, but you got to think about this, Mr. Ford. You're getting NFL coaches coming into the SWAC.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Because they got a lot of knowledge of the game. And a lot of kids look at that. Oh, you coached in the league? Oh, okay. I'll go there. You know what I'm saying? If you got a coach who ain't coaching the league, he ain't certified, what can he tell me? You think he's bigger than the program if you was a Division I player that transferred there. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do my own thing. That's not the case no more. You know what I'm saying? Because I saw that at Norfolk State. We get a couple of guys that came from Virginia Tech. They think they're bigger in the program. They think they're bigger than most of the players there. Hey, you really can't tell me, man. I was coached by Frank Beamer. Okay, if you coached by Frank Beamer, why you left Virginia Tech? Why you had Norfolk State?
Call the area code 901. You can call back.
Oh, okay. All right.
You go ahead and
finish. You got another caller?
Well, no, they hung up. You can go ahead and finish your point up.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to, show you guys how the dynamic of the black college football changed because I played in the MEAC, you know what I'm saying? And I see the shift of power as it going up. Like how you were saying, SWAC Buzz, that we don't need to have validation.
Yeah.
And I like what you said because we don't now. Because we got the players, we're the hottest conference in Division I AA right now. Even though, like you said, they went in the national championship, but guess what? They don't got the buzz like the SWAC. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got a Deion Sanders over there. There's some commercials and the kids seeing his face, and they always on ESPN. You know what I'm saying? They don't really gonna get on TV unless they in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? That's not the case for the SWAC. You know what I'm saying? The SWAC is box office. So you're going to have major schools that's going to be on TV, like Deion was tripping about them being on ESPN 2. He got a point. They should be on ESPN 1. But, everything slowly is going to get there. You know what I'm saying? We just need more people to view the game. I'm going to be watching the game. Everywhere Jackson State play, I'm going to be watching them because Deion is my favorite player. So he got me so much involved into the game. If I get some extra money, I will be in Miami to that FAMU and Jackson State game. But I'm trying to show you that Jackson State is going to bring everybody out. You know what I'm saying? Because, like you said, we're the haunted. Everybody is shooting after them. So everywhere they go, if they go to Southern, it's going to be packed. If they were playing Arkansas Pine Bluff, even though their fan base is shaky, but guess what? They're going to bring the fans out because people going to want to watch them play. They want to beat them, and plus they got good product football players out there. You know what I'm saying? Like Travis Hunter. He's a box office player.
Well,
everybody want to watch it. I want to watch him. Go ahead.
I got another caller now, so I appreciate the call.
All right.
So I'm going to get to them. Thank you for the call.
All right. Thank you, guys. All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Oh, did I hang him up? All right, that caller hung up again. Caller 901 area code. You can call back. I'll put you on the show. They hung up again. All right, they not putting the game over the U.S. Open. Yeah, that's the thing about it. The U.S. Open is playing on that day of the game, so they're probably gonna have. That's probably why they won't put us on ESPN1. But hopefully one day we can get on there, man. We really need our games to be on there. I can hear that Fort Lauderdale all in my boy. He went to either Dilla or Boy Anderson. Yeah, Florida accent is they have a very distinct accent. Ooh, we bro can go. They not. I can agree. SWAC going to have a winning record versus the LCS. Yeah, I think doesn't Southern play Austin Peay? Who plays Austin Peay this year?
Alabama A&M.
Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna see.
Yeah.
We're gonna see.
Alabama A&M has UAB, Troy, and Austin Peay.
Yeah. Morpheus asks, who wins Howard versus Bama State? Bama State, easily.
Yeah, I'm thinking with all of this stuff that's coming into Bama State.
Yeah.
Listen, Bama State might be number 2 or number 3 in the SWAC right now in this recruiting. They done brought in some, like that guy said, some quality players now, and we talking Power 5 boys.
Yeah.
They brought in some big-time kids.
Let me get this call. Hold on just a second.
Okay.
What's going on, Carl? You live? Talk to me.
Hey, brother SWAC Boss. How you doing? This is Chris Halper, man. Your guy from San Antonio, Texas. How you doing, brother?
How you doing?
Doing good. I came in kind of late once again. I was in the coaches meeting. I heard what the last brother said, brother SWAC Boss, on validation. I think it's kind of funny how when it comes to Division AA, Montana, North Dakota State, Appalachian State, those teams has played on ESPN. Not ESPN2 or ESPNU, SWAC Buzz, but ESPN. But when they come to Jackson State, Deion Sanders and the brother coach at FAMU have to basically plead to ESPN to let them be on ESPN1. Okay? That's number one. Number two, validation, right, brother SWAC Buzz? When James Houston got drafted, they showed his Florida highlights and not his Jackson State highlights. Okay?
Yeah, I went in on that.
But when Carson Wentz got drafted, they showed his North Dakota State highlights. So I just see the double standard, and for those other Division I AA schools, there is no validation. But when it comes to MEAC and SWAC schools, there seems to have to be, they need validation, brother SWAC Buzz.
Yeah. And so with the James Houston thing, they said it was a reporter, somebody that worked for the Detroit Lions. They did that video. But, hey, you got to keep your people in line. You don't do nothing like that. He got drafted from Jackson State. You show Jackson State highlights. You get him that honor. But, yeah, stuff like that is going to happen, but we just have to keep rolling.
Yeah, and SWAC Buzz, and I'm driving, so I'll have my facts straight, so I'm asking a question here. I believe over the history, Jackson State has had 100-some players get drafted.
Yep.
That's not counting free agents.
Yeah.
Now, am I correct on that, SWAC Buzz?
Yeah, James Houston was the 100th player to be drafted.
Yeah.
They got drafted. Yeah, not free agent, but drafted, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's get back to what I originally said, right, brother? Who needs the validation? Okay, you had 100-some players get drafted. Has North Dakota State has that? Has Appalachian State have that? Has Youngstown State have that? Has Montana North have that? No. But those teams don't need validation because they're PWIs, but Jackson State and FAMU does.
Well, you would have some people. You would have some people argue that North Dakota State have done this recently. in Jackson State and these HBCUs have these players in the past decades ago. With their North Dakota State is doing it now. That's why they're getting this favoritism. So that's why. That's what people would say.
A person, Brother Swag Buzz, a person could argue that. I would say to them, well, if you look at college football history, Bison football has always been Division I AA powerhouse. Them, Appalachian State, Youngstown. So that they're not recent. They've always been a powerhouse, but so has Jackson State. Jackson State has not just been a HBCU powerhouse. They've always been a Division II powerhouse before they went to Division I AA. So the playing field should actually be even. It shouldn't take no validation.
All right.
You know, that's just like when North Dakota State had played against K-State and they beat K-State. Okay, so if Jackson State was to play against, let's say, Iowa State and be the Big 12 school, do they need that validation to show that we are here, we have arrived, Brother Swag Buzz?
Repeat that. You broke up on my end. Repeat that one more time.
When North Dakota State, can you hear me now, brother?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
When North Dakota State played K-State some years back, and they beat K-State, right?
Yeah.
Well, to some people in America, that was a big deal, but you know college football, Swag Buzz, it wasn't a big deal because Bison football, North Dakota State, they've always been good. So that was a Big 12 team, K-State was. So if Jackson State plays, let's say, Iowa State and beat Iowa State, is that going to be their validation because they can be the Big 12 school?
Yeah.
When historically speaking, they put over 100 guys in the pros as far as being drafted.
Yeah, so people would think that it is validation because those schools like Iowa State in the Big 12, they get a certain kind of player every year. They have 85 scholarships. So they thinking that a FCS school should not be a school that has 85 scholarships and able to get these big time players. So it will be a big deal, but I think Jackson State could beat some FBS schools if they played them now.
Right. So when North Dakota State beat K-State, it was okay, another Saturday, no big deal. But if Jackson State beat Iowa State, for an example, right, Swag Buzz, everybody gonna know about it. It's gonna be a big deal, and it's just like, wait a minute, didn't that PWI beat that PWI? Nobody thought it was a big deal, but when it comes to us, it's a big deal. When we had this conversation last time, Swag Buzz, of how many players from HBCUs went to the NFL and did great things, especially from a blue blood like Jackson State.
Right.
If what I'm saying makes sense to you, brother.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. You're saying that first of all, K-State is garbage in the landscape of FBS football. Like nobody respects K-State like that. They're one of the bottom feeder teams. Nobody really respects them like that. So that's probably why if North Dakota State beat them, and they know North Dakota State can beat, is like pretty much they look at North Dakota State as the Alabama of all LCS football. So them beating the K-State is something that people think that they're supposed to do, because a lot of people feel like North Dakota State is leeching off the LCS because they think North Dakota State should already be an FBS school, but they want to stay in the LCS just to, dominate so they can be known as the Alabama FCS so they can get their players drafted. So that's what a lot of people complain about North Dakota State staying in the LCS anyway, because they feel like they're FBS school in sheep's clothing. So...
Yeah, and Brother Swag Buzz, it's so much a shame and pathetic, because if they just look at the history of the Oakland Raiders, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Dallas Cowboys, HBCU football, it's already been validated. It's like time repeats itself, but how soon we forget time.
Yeah. But I think what we have to do now, we have to focus on getting these good players to come into the SWAC, and we getting these players drafted, and then so we can reclaim what we used to have back in the day.
Yeah, and it also has to be a balance. I think the MEAC and the SWAC is not balanced. Me personally, I think that Tennessee State needs to go over to the MEAC instead of trying to come over to the SWAC. That way we could have a balance. if that makes sense to you, brother Swag Buzz.
Okay. Yeah, Tennessee State, I don't think they're gonna do it. They've already.
I don't think so either, man. We're wishful thinking, right, brother?
Yeah, they've already made it clear that they have no interest in becoming a part of the HBCU family like that. They're trying to become an FBS team. They say they got aspirations to do that, and which I think they can do it. They could do that in the SWAC as well. You can come to the SWAC for a few years, build your program up like you want to be built up. Probably try to dominate the SWAC and then move up if you want to. But they're taking another path. So I mean, let them do what they do, and we're gonna keep doing what we do.
Swag Buzz, I'm in San Antonio, Texas. I'm from Ohio by way of Tennessee. Mm-hmm. I think that Coach George probably never say this. You probably know this or probably don't know this. I think the undertone with Tennessee State is we are a HBCU and Country Music USA, Nashville, Tennessee. So for political reasons, it's best we stay in the OVC opposed to going over to the MEAC or SWAC, because players that we would have gotten from Vanderbilt, i.e., is no longer going to come here because we're right smack in the middle of OVC country, and plus we're in Nashville, Tennessee. I think that's kind of the undertone as far as Coach George and Tennessee State not really wanting to move those Tigers over to a HBCU conference, Swag Buzz. I don't know if you ever thought about that, brother, but I kind of put two and two together with that with myself. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I honestly think George would probably be okay with coming to a HBCU conference because of the stadium would be filled up. I think the president, with her aspirations, she wants Tennessee State to be on another level and going another direction. So I don't think Eddie George would care, honestly, because he's still going to be able to play the schools that he want to play anyway. Like he's playing Notre Dame, he's trying to play Ohio State. He's still going to get his players to looks with those out of conference games because he's going to go play those big schools for his out of conference games. So I think he doesn't care, but I think the president, she just wants to move in another direction.
You think he's doing that to get his players looks or to get the school and the program some paychecks?
Both. I think he wants to get the school some paychecks, and then he wants to get his players some looks too. Because, when these NFL teams pull their tape up, they want to see who you played against. They're like, oh, okay, this guy played against Notre Dame. Let me see how he blocked against Notre Dame defensive line. Let me see, that's what they're going to be looking at because they have that bias for, level of play. So playing Big Tens can help.
Right.
Because everybody don't have the cachet that Deion has. See, Deion can play his schedule, dominate. Jackson State dominate the teams on their schedule, and he's still going to get his players looks because Deion has that clout. A lot of people in the NFL respect him, and they love him, and they're going to go look at his players because they know this is the greatest of all time. If he say this guy can play, I need to be looking at him. So that's what's going on with that.
Yeah, and that goes back to one of the original topics when it's like, okay, well, they bringing in these great guys, but who did Jackson State play against? Okay, well, who the hell did North Dakota State play against? I mean, they've been reigning supreme in Division I AA, but we're gonna play that game. Who they play against? It's a double standard, brother.
Yeah, I agree. It's a double standard, but what we have to do is we have to keep dominating. And then when we do have those opportunities to play out of conference, we got to win those games, But when I say validation, I say we shouldn't be arguing with these people like they matter. You don't matter to us.
Exactly.
We're the hot ones on the street right now. If y'all playing us gives you clout because you're going to get the attention. So that's what I want us to get out of is arguing with these people online, thinking that their teams and their schools are better because, the name or just having the cloud of being this big time FCS program. Jackson State has some of the best players in FCS football. I would say they have the most talented team in FCS football. the Jackson State fans have nothing to hang their heads about. When these people from these other LCS schools come in talking, you just let them know, man, we got the most talented team in LCS, and let them know, hey, when we get out there to play you all in the future, we're gonna show y'all what we got.
Oh yeah, and you know, I totally agree, brother. And you say it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like I told this guy the other day, Caucasian race. I said, well, that
Appreciate
same
that donation,
weekend, SWAC
DJ. I just
sorry,
want to tell Raw Truth Media. Appreciate that donation. Go ahead, sir.
I think that same Saturday, SWAC Buzz, and again, you fact check me on this. When Jackson State homecoming, I believe Mississippi State played. I think they had a home game too against Alabama or Ole Miss. Somebody they played against, and Jackson State homecoming was 50-something thousand people. That's not counting the 10,000 people in the parking lot, right, SWAC Buzz? And I believe Mississippi State home game was like 40-something thousand. But Jackson State validation, if we're gonna play that dumb game, like you said, really don't matter. The validation was a HBCU outdid a SEC team who was playing against another SEC team.
Yeah.
And if that's not validation, I don't know what the NFL in the world would really. If they just need that dumb validation, like, what are you really looking for? They just outdid Mississippi State.
Yeah,
and who they played against.
I mean, that's when it comes to fans. But when you're looking at these NFL teams and these scouts, they have the bias of thinking, okay, SEC has the best players, and so they want to see how players perform against those players in the SEC. So that's
right.
This is what you
and I had this conversation before. Is like, okay, well, Walter Payton, the best Chicago Bear with the Jackson State, and Jimmy Smith, the best Jacksonville Jaguar. Some people say Mark Brunell went to Jackson State. Jerry Rice went to, and so it's like, what measuring stick? Not you, brother Swag Buzz, but just people in general, right? What measuring stick is this validation that y'all think y'all need? And like you said, brother Swag Buzz, it doesn't matter because it's already been proven and written. Like Nas said.
Yep. I appreciate the call. Mr. Ivy, too, thank you for the donation. Appreciate that. Well, yeah, I appreciate the call.
Hey, Swag Buzz, I appreciate you, too, brother. I love chopping up with you, brother.
All right, thank you.
All right, brother, you too.
All right. Mr. Ford, you got anything you want to close us out on?
I just want to say congratulations to Alabama State baseball team for winning the SWAC baseball tournament. And congratulations to Prairie View men and women's track team for winning the track championships. That's it.
Okay. Well, you know, Mr. Ford, you're always welcome on the show. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
Being on with me. You know, people love to hear you talk. Yeah. We got to get you to start your own podcast. And you know, I got the perfect name for it. Let me tell you something. Name it. Let me tell you some podcast.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I appreciate you, Mr. Ford. And, yeah, we'll be talking offline.
Have a good night, okay?
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Tell them to name it. Let me tell you something. All NDSU did was look to stay over in our Carpenter Boys State blueprint. Yep, exactly. Well, I appreciate y'all tuning in to the show, man. This was a good one. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if y'all not subscribed. Y'all know how we do. I'll be dropping more videos this week. And I'll be doing other lives too, but you know, I'll put the post out before I come on and do the live. But yeah, y'all, what y'all talking about in the chat? Name it, listen. Everyone said name it, listen. JSU homecoming was 60,000 plus. I was there. Yeah, homecoming this year gonna be even crazier though. It's gonna be even crazier. But yeah, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'm gonna see you guys on the next video. Amazing show, Swag, but we need more of these conversations for sure. Raw Truth Media. Make sure y'all subscribe to Raw Truth Media. That's my guy. He does swag content as well. So make sure y'all subscribe to him. Happy belated birthday, Miss Ivy too. Miss Ivy too. Appreciate that. Yeah, it was my birthday the other day. So hey, if y'all feeling frugal, y'all want to send y'all boy a gift, Cash App, $SWAC Buzz. I appreciate anything y'all being generous about and wanting to donate to the channel. And all the things that y'all donate to the channel go straight back into the channel for equipment and things like that. So I really appreciate y'all looking out for me. But anyway, let me go and close this out. I know it's late. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all like and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to see you guys on the next one. I'm gone.